Noxolo has been through hell and back. Noxolo found herself at a very young age at a space where she never thought she would find herself there. Just when I was getting used to the new day and high, just when I was starting to love them, I've got now again to learn to love them separately. I was angry.
Jeez.
For the longest of time. I got an opportunity at SABC. I applied for a translator and a typist. And kwavela i-position ye-typist iqala. That, yay! Yay! Let me go to this interview. Umama oswele umsebenzi wase-Pietermaritzburg ekutyholwa ngokokuba ukwazile ukwenza ubugcisa bokwenza imali ngokungekho mthethweni, imali yomgunyathu kutsho. Emva kokubukela iivideo eziliqela kuGoogle naku-Instagram. Ubanjiwe kutshanje.
She's reading English story. She just told it to us in Xhosa. I didn't call you right. I didn't address you as Utogotel.
It's fine. You're going to pay a fine. Remember, I'm a pensioner now.
Don't worry, I owe you one.
You owe me one. You owe me one.
King David Studio Podcast.
The president stopped something for you. Who does that? No, the president doesn't stop something for the whole nation for one person.
Yo. Here's what Ram did. I still can't believe he did that.
It still crosses your mind.
It does. Whenever I see him, I'm like, Konje, wangifakela mehla.
I like that. Because ukufakela mehlo can be positive or negative.
Yes, but in a positive way.
In a positive way.
It was, it humbled me. Ukubone nje uti, it humbled me to the core.
Yeah.
To the marrow. Not even to the bone.
To the bone marrow.
Gaphakathi.
Wow.
And I was like,
what happened here?
Who am I?
Wow. And how did you answer that question to yourself? Who am I? In that moment?
I still don't know who am I.
Yeah.
Because the president has opened enye nje impompi.
A new one.
Of people, of, institutions doing things for me.
Yeah.
That prompt me to keep asking myself, konje ndenzeni?
Konje ngubani?
Ndingubani?
Wow.
What is it about wena Noxolo that touches people so much?
Are you able to answer that question?
Can you answer it for me, please?
I'll tell you, Mina, my observation. And you're the easiest person that I've met in this industry. When you walked in this office, you straight went to the kitchen and made your own coffee. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Because, when you're just easy. Hey, how are you guys doing? And can I make coffee? You are easy, and people relate with easy people. You are great at your craft. And this is really at a level that is just a marvel to watch. But wow, Lo Mama actually is really great because there's people who dance and sing and run very fast and are able to do a scrum and win a World Cup. There's all those different talents. And then there's this one where we don't expect people to shine. We expect them to just be in the background because it's news. We expect it to be in the background. It's the news that becomes stars, not the person delivering the news. However, you're able to shine by merely being yourself. And that is rare. But merely you don't try too hard. You don't embellish too much. You're not theatrical when you perform your news. But people relate with the ease. And that for me is what people love. And that doesn't age. It's classy. And when it's classy, it stays appreciated by different generations. And that's just what happened in your career. It's all of us that have watched you and didn't even understand the language, but we just wanted to watch this lady do this thing because she does it so beautifully. She makes you appreciate the language so well. And that's really what came across. And we just all fell in love. From all the way from Messina to Cape Town, we just completely fall in love with you. And that's just what you've given us.
Maybe then, David, it stems from the fact that ikhona moslento kuthiwa what you give is what you receive.
True.
It stems from the fact that I think naturally ndiyabathanda abantu.
That's it.
And andoneli nje kukubathanda. I don't just love people. But life has taught me to respect people.
Yeah.
You know? And awubahlonipha abantu when you respect them. That's what you will get from them. And that is what I yearn for. Andifuna ukoyikwa mna ngabantu.
Not be celebrated.
And it's the same like njoba ndikhulisa abantwana nje, David.
Yeah.
I don't want my children to be afraid of me. I want my kids to respect me. Ndifuna ukuba approachable.
Yes.
I want to be the first person, their first go-to guy.
Yes.
You know,
when you walk in, they're happy you're here.
When I'm not there, I want them to miss me.
Yeah.
I think it maybe stems from that.
And that is not, it's not shiny. What you described is not shiny. It's not glowing. It's not necessarily pretty. That's why I say it's just there. It's in the background because it's basic. And imagine if all of us were like that, had that type of aspiration to just be appreciated and loved. But it's your energy that should make people love and appreciate you. You don't deserve it. You earn it by merely being kind and easygoing. And that's who you are.
Wow.
You don't try too hard. And what surprises me about you also is I don't think you're aware that you're a star. Every time I've had conversations with you, it's like, "Lo, mama doesn't know." Yes, and it's probably because of exactly what you just described. To you, it's just being yourself.
I'm gonna tell my daughter tonight, "Hey, when I'm a star."
Doesn't she know? How do they behave around you? Are they aware of what you've achieved?
You know what she says? You're my mother.
It's nothing.
So what? Do you know that my daughter has been an intern at this company? And I think for 2 years, no one knew she was my daughter.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, when one of the ladies asked her, "But no wonder, kanti umamako Noxolo Grootboom." Yeah. Why ungatsho? So what? Do I know your mother?
Oh yeah, what? Now I don't know your mother.
So?
Yes.
She's my mother. As much as your mom is your mom. She's just my mother. Guys.
She's not anything to her. To her, you're just another mother.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that about my children.
Did that change anything from how they treated her? I hope not.
No. She wouldn't allow it to happen.
But hey, mind you, violatory promotion.
She wouldn't allow that. Do you know ba unokwanda akazange afune ndimncedise nasekufuneni umsebenzi.
What? Don't call anyone.
Yay!
Why is that?
She was like, "Mama, I am going to do this. Nienzile indima yenu. You put me through school.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that very much.
Done.
And from now onwards, it's on me."
And she's done it. Wow. Should have called someone though. Don't tell her. It's me.
That one is a monster.
Akafuni.
I wouldn't even get my cup of coffee every morning.
She would be upset.
She would be upset.
Wow.
But I think I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Abantwana, David, kufuneke bafunde ukuzenzela.
Yeah.
We are not going to be around for them for too long.
True.
You know, and the best that we can do, Tina, as parents, is to make sure that we arm them.
With the tools.
With the tools.
Yeah.
And then once it's born into you know, they're now firmly grounded.
Do you feel you've achieved that?
I have.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying my kids don't make mistakes, David.
Yeah.
I even appreciate the mistakes that they make.
Because it's part of learning.
Because
isn't it?
it's part of ukufunda. They learn. I want them to learn from them. I want my children to fall because I want to see ubabaza uvuka njani.
Yes, because it's not the victories.
I'm not and kuliso goody. I mean, we don't live in a goody world.
No, we don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. So, and kulisa bo goody. So I want my children to make mistakes. I want my children to fall. Ndifuna abantwana bami bashaywe bubomi, but I want to see them dust themselves up.
Yeah.
And get on the road.
Do you think you've done enough though to make sure that when they fall, they stand?
Oh yes, I've been through hell and back. No, I'm happy.
Wow.
I'm happy.
How old are they and how many are they?
Dina 63, David.
Yeah, my daughter. You'll have to explain that, obviously.
Okay, David, I've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
Ne? Don't ask me how.
Okay.
But I have got 4 kids.
Yes.
Udon is 50. He's approaching 50.
Mm-hmm.
And then Uzolake is going to hit his 40s.
Okay.
Upungane is 38.
Yeah.
And then Unogwanda is 28.
Mm-hmm. They're not little.
No.
At all. These are
no,
adults.
these are adults.
Yes.
I'm staying with adults, but yay. Jonga ndi se ngumama. If I want to kiss them, I'm going to get that kiss.
You see them that way.
If I kiss them, mommy is going to get that kiss.
Yes. And they understand.
Yes, they do understand.
Yeah.
They do. If I haven't seen them in a long time, the first thing that I do, it's a hug and a kiss.
That's it, eh?
It's a hug and a kiss. You know, they're still my children. I'm still their mother.
And they treat you like that. That they don't,
No, they treat me like that. They understand.
Yes.
You know, understand mama, hey, lo mntu lona uso. Hey, mayikwatile. Ay, kuyafika.
Do you have that side to you?
You don't want to see it.
Do you know people with a smile that size, they don't appear like they would be angry.
Ukumbona umuntu okwata regret afterwards. By the way, bengikwatela.
Is that you?
That's me. But I do.
What triggers that? What kind of behavior? Because ukwatela bantu generally, you don't ukwatela umhlaba. There has to be someone. Okay. So I need to make sure. That's why I'm going to share.
I respect Abantu, David.
Yes.
I think I mentioned that to you.
You did.
And as a result, I don't know how to receive disrespect.
It looks foreign to you, eh?
It is foreign to me. And so I cannot handle it.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot handle it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the little things that tick me off.
Do you react immediately, or you're the type that processes this slowly?
No, I don't process anything slowly that has to do with disrespect.
Whoa.
I call you to order there and then.
Yeah.
And we sort it out now.
Now.
And it's fine. It's done. It's dusted.
No grudge after
No.
this.
Anikwazi ugrudge umntu.
Yeah.
David ungandenza nantoni, but I can't hold a grudge for you.
Jeez. That's a good quality, eh?
Angwazi. No. It's not going to do any good for my body.
And your youth.
Youth?
Your youth. Don't mess up the youth. How old do you feel?
I feel 63.
You do?
Mm.
You don't look it though, but let's carry on. Why do you feel 63?
When I tackled the stairs, I was looking at the stairs now. And I was like, I hope he's not expecting me to go up there to the studios. And then fortunately he said, Mama, studios is going down. It's down here.
So you do feel those moments of, Nkulil.
I do feel those moments, especially when I see the grandchildren. I'm like, okay. Are they really mine?
Wow. Jeez. It's the first time somebody walks in here and says they feel their age.
I do feel it. But I really treasure in moments where you have like grandchildren, because although I feel it, but they make sure in the Gokbana, I feel their age as well.
They remind you they're young.
They remind me that, listen, Makulu, you might be 63, but you can be every age that you want to be within that 63.
Choose it.
If you want to be a 40-year-old, you can be a 40-year-old. If you want to be a 23-year-old, you can be a 23-year-old. But now, Makulu, I'm 10 years old and I want you to be a 10-year-old and I want us to play basketball.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Maybe you may not do it for long, but let's try it.
Let's try it.
Yes. And you'll play along.
And I'll play along.
Yeah.
I will play along.
That's amazing. I must tell you though, are you aware you don't look 63? At least that.
How is a 63-year-old supposed to look like?
Old. Old. And you don't.
Come on, look at me.
No, never. Okay. Look at her. Look at her. That's the camera. They must look at you. Look at her. even your style. Even your style is nowhere near that.
Thank you for the compliment, David. I take it with my full chest.
I
take it with my full chest.
And because it's true. When I was preparing for this, I keep coming across pictures of you. There's one Nelson Mandela University. And I see that's like, geez, look at that. Wow. With hair and all.
You mean the Goodbye My Nation?
Is that what you call it? That's what you call it, eh? Goodbye My Nation. So you had a thing going. Was it take us to that day for you, the Goodbye My Nation day?
It all started with Rhodes University.
Okay. Yeah.
And when Nelson Mandela also told us that they want us there and they would be honoring us. It was another ram jive,
and that's a while ago.
It was another ram jive. I said, here they go again. I thought Rhodes was enough. And then now the Nelson Mandela University. But I am not going to lie, David, and say I didn't feel good. I was like, for someone who have never been to university.
Look at me.
Look at me.
I didn't call you right. I didn't address you as Utogotel.
It's fine. You're going to pay a fine. Remember, I'm a pensioner now.
Don't worry, I owe you one.
You owe me one. You owe me one. But I'm not going to lie, David, and say it didn't do anything to the person that I am.
Yeah.
It made me feel good about what I did for Noxolo through it all.
Incredible.
Noxolo has been through hell and back. Noxolo found herself at a very young age at a space where she never thought she would find herself there. Noxolo had to grow up much quicker than her peers.
Yo.
Noxolo had to be a mother
Mm.
to his siblings zakhe before she could even think of planning her own family.
Yo.
Noxolo had to think like, a mother. And when I joined my mom in Johannesburg, I had to think like a husband.
Oh.
Because that's what she used to call me.
Yeah,
Oh, mntanam, waske wayindoda yam.
What?
So I had to be all those things at a very young age, David.
Yeah.
And I learned, I learned to leave the word sacrifice
Very early.
very early. And I don't regret any of that, because I feel whatever I might have perceived as a loss was a gain, not only to my mom, but to my siblings as well.
That's true.
And so I grew up. I don't know what the 21st birthday is. I don't even remember. When people celebrate my 21st birthday, I was like, what is that? What was I doing on my 21st birthday?
I can give you a sense of
I was already making bold decisions.
Yeah, I think if I remember, that's the year you moved to Joburg. It's 81.
81.
Yeah.
That's the year I moved to Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And that's the year I had to map out
As a 21-year-old.
a new life for my mom, myself, and my brothers.
Imagine that.
You'll
give us details. I want the soft stuff now for a second. Just allow me. The morning of the departure of the Sing Right, that day, what was going through your head? Was there ever, maybe I might change my mind about this. What was going through the day you had to, what day was it? 2021? We knew that there was a presidential family meeting.
Yes.
And we knew that you were about to leave the 30th of March.
Yes.
What was going through your mind?
I was looking forward to retirement. You can ask your Lisa. I was looking forward to. I was even telling them into yokokuba ayazi ingathi ndiyazibona ndilala kube to 10. Lala kube to 11.
I can't believe I made you wake up today.
Not ndilale kube to 11. Ndilale kube to 11.
Yes. Singavuki. What?
Ndingavuki. I was honestly looking forward to retirement.
But you express it like you're looking forward to resting.
Yeah. David, 37 years. And let me put it this way. 37 years of not giving myself time to serve uNoxolo.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward. Ukwenzela uNoxolo eats, man.
Something
nje.
Wow, something easy, nyana.
Yeah, and make life easy for her.
Have you done that? At least one nyana. Because we're talking 2 years now. 2 years and a few months.
Have I done it?
Uh-oh. You haven't yet.
No, not yet.
Why is that? Is it because you don't know how to do it?
It's because of you. It's because I'm here.
Esh. So you know, we're recording this in the morning. We had a driver waiting for you at 7:30.
Exactly.
And one morning through the window to say, Allah.
That's you. Kanti ngabantu abanjani aba, because mina ndisebenza ngexesha. I'm keep on saying, okay, mandilale enye 5 minutes.
So mbona wa panic. I'm sorry.
Kodwa shem ndamvulela ndathi siyabona sendigqibile.
I'm ready. Oh, so he doesn't feel
ready.
bad. I actually told him not to bother you until the right time. So now he was too enthusiastic.
No, bendingafuna ame ngaphandle egate.
Yes,
so bendifuna at least ndimvulele igate.
At least.
Angene ngaphakathi.
Okay, at least, yeah.
No, it was not a problem at all. Relax.
But you've done nothing to achieve this goal you wanted of Vuang 11.
No.
Huh. So you still plan to do it though?
I still do.
So it's still coming.
It's in a whisper.
I heard that.
So that
a whisper and
I hope this is between you and me.
It is. Really. Don't you worry. Okay. Nobody knows. Okay. You still plan to retire.
I'm looking forward to retirement after retirement.
But you must feel blessed that you're still able to work, though.
Yazi mntanam ndizakuxelela inyani. Yo, I am at my happiest. Wow. Maybe this is what I'm doing for Noxolo.
This is the retirement. This is how it looks like.
Maybe this is how she expected a retirement to be like.
Yes.
You know, maybe when I David, it is because I found something.
Yes. Do you want to tell us what that is? I have a feeling it has something to do with young people.
Yes.
Okay.
It is something that is here. Newsroom.
Yeah.
They launched a news channel.
African language.
Maqaling isiXhosa nesiZulu. 163 on Wethu. And bangicela into kokubana, listen, can you please come? Qala bebefuna ndiupresent.
Wathini?
Yeah.
You didn't want to do it? Really?
Let me tell you something about my previous life. I've always felt, David, ukuthi, my stint as a broadcaster, as a newsreader, I jealously give it the ownership yayo to the SABC. Jealously.
Okay.
Jealously.
They own that.
They own it and they deserve it.
That's very noble of you.
You know, the SABC together with Abemi Bomzans Africa, they made me who I am. If it was not because of them, this would not be happening.
The president would not have stopped the country.
The president would not have done anything. And I jealously gave you ownership of that part of life to the SABC. And I give them full credit for it. And Anfunindo a phazamisai.
Wow. Jeez.
Hence, I boldly said no.
Incredible. That's because some people would choose it because that's the talent they have. That's the skill they possess.
And so they didn't give up.
Of course.
But all right, okay, how about mentoring and training, working with young people? Because we want this to be a channel yabantu abacha. Yo, another chance of being rejuvenated at 63. I cannot let it go by.
And you enjoy youth around you.
I do enjoy them.
Yeah.
I do enjoy. And I took up that challenge simply because akho maxheko nabaxhekwazana kho bantu abadala bane issues.
I can't believe it.
Ndisebenza nabantwana, I can deal issues zabantwana. I know how to handle abantwana.
An experience from home.
You know, an experience from home. I'm a mother. And damn, I'm going to mother them if they want to be mothered in order to do what I want them to do.
How's the experience been?
Wonderful. It's been wonderful, David. It's been. I think when I David, my greatest fear, you know, the experience in the Fumene SABC, it is like beyond compare. And one thing that bothered me when I made a decision, retirisha, is what am I going to do with this seed? Lembeu.
This is an outlet. This is something you obviously look forward to.
Lembeu ndizaithini lembeu. It has to well somewhere.
It can't just.
I have to kyala it.
It can't just wake up ngoleve.
No. I have to kyala this seed somewhere.
Yeah.
And when they opened up that opportunity for me, I said, yes, let me kyala lembeu and then retire.
Huh.
So that's what I'm doing.
Do you plan to do it for long, though? Do you know in your mind? For as long as they want you. Look at you. You're staring in that direction.
I gave them a year's contract.
But it's been more than a year, I'm sure.
No, it's Phela niunyaka wam.
Hello. Next month.
Next month, yes.
Okay. Since we are likely to retire again. There's a voice of God coming from somewhere saying, not likely.
Jesus.
What are you saying? Are you looking forward to another possible retirement? Or are you enjoying it so much you're happy to wake up every morning to go do it?
I am enjoying it so much. If it means spending my retirement with those young people, then I will retire with them.
Okay, that's life.
That's life.
Yes.
I will retire with them. I enjoy working with them. Yes, David. Ingqondo yam, the way abayivuse ngakhona.
Wow.
It is so awake. It is not funny. Jonga, ithi ngikuphumzekelwa ne. Ndiye ndaphazamisa nje dates zami. Bendinomcimbi kufuneke ndiyowenza Nelson Mandela University.
Okay.
And I was like engqondweni yami. Okay, it's in November. And then Yolisa calls me. Yolisa is my manager. She calls me. Mntu wam, we're making arrangements up, traveling to Quebec. I said, you are nabi early. Arrangements. What are you? Siyahamba Friday.
Yes.
We're leaving on Friday. And she's telling me on Monday. And in DP on Monday. We're leaving on Thursday, ne? We're leaving on Thursday. And it's Monday. And I'm with my mom. I'm having fun with my mom. I'm spending the day. I said, are you aware that I haven't prepared the speech?
Chocho.
And then he can speak. Yo! Tuesday, yeah. Monday, Tuesday. I only have Monday, Tuesday.
To prepare.
But because ababantwana, they keep me on my toes. And ingqondo yam, bayigcina ibaleka. Ukuba ngaba bekukho ama-speeding fines, andazi.
I was a jail.
I started that speech on Monday evening. Tuesday, I went to work. When I came back to my speech, I finished the speech at 3:00. 3:30, I emailed it to my manager
there
to edit and check. It was done.
What does that reflect?
And azange nhlanye.
Yeah, what does that reflect? That you are energized again?
I am energized. Make no mistake. I am energized.
What does it say though from your experience about skill, talent, and maybe retiring too early? What does it say because now you're able to look at it?
No. It's definitely not retiring too early. Had I not retired, I wouldn't have realized how much of this seed was burning within.
That's true. You needed to leave.
I needed to leave.
Yeah.
In order to realize, Guti, you might have left, but mission not accomplished.
Wow. Look at you. There are some young people that will look back and say, "Hulo Mahama, who made me?"
So yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm not going to lie. What
role do you play exactly? You mentor?
I mentor.
But how does that look like? How does your day look like?
Now my day looks like it's a bit easy now because everything is in place. Sisemoyeni. So what I am looking at now is it's in like refining the product. Now refining a product goes with refining the people who are producing the product.
Jeez. So it's quality control.
So that is where I am now. you know, and forward planning.
Mm.
You would think that for news there is no forward planning, but for news there is forward planning. I
Right.
do more than I was asked to do.
Because you know more than what you are asked to
Because
do.
I feel into kokubana, hayi man, if ndenza ikofu car,
It's not enough.
it's not enough. Sometimes I must bake biscuits.
You make me feel bad. Maybe we should have gotten biscuits.
Sometimes I need to bake biscuits because ikofu imnandi xa uyisela
That's
nebiscuit.
true. Yes.
You know, so that's what I do. I don't just make coffee for them.
Yeah.
You know, I bake biscuits for them.
Yeah. It's everything.
It's everything. And if I see that they are kind of low-spirited, the mother in me has got to spring into action.
That would energize anyone, particularly if you are doing in an industry that you enjoy. To be called from home. Yeah, no, I can see. I remember when we were on the radio, you were very happy.
You know, I think I'm at my happiest.
That's incredible.
When I go to my retirement after retirement, it will be a peaceful one.
Reflect on it's easier now. How was work before? As in, what was required of you as the host of the news, and that you seem to reflect to it as there was a lot to do.
Akukho difference ibingako. Umsebenzi ngumsebenzi.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Is it dynamics nje?
True.
Is chicha.
Yeah.
You know, the same elements that I applied emsebenzini wami SABC are the same elements that I'm applying now. You know, hlonipha umsebenzi.
Yeah.
Respect, give umsebenzi the respect that it deserves, so that umsebenzi in turn can work for you. It is the same. It is the same.
Yeah. So it was really it's all the same.
It is all the same.
Yeah.
Isengumsebenzi. We understand, but tools zohlukile.
And in environment,
dynamics zohlukile, ne environment yohlukile. You know, but we cooking news.
That's what you do.
That's what we do. You know,
and
imbiza.
Of course, the stove.
The stove.
Le smagle.
Yeah,
that's
you know,
it.
but
yes.
we cooking news.
How's young talent? What have you found? That is there a lot of great young talent coming up?
We are underestimating young people. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
We've got great minds out there waiting for opportunities. David, you've got great minds. Let me give you an example. We needed a presenter. And we had to train someone, like now.
From scratch?
From scratch.
You're not taking them from somewhere.
We're taking this person, experience is from radio.
Okay.
Nase radio wenza, you know,
community level
program. No, not community level. Wenza music program.
Okay.
We want him for news.
Yo.
And uyabona-ke, if you're looking for something, the minute umbono David, uthi, this is the one.
Was it an easy search?
It was not an easy search. It was frustrating. It was frustrating because we had already identified David and we wanted David.
Was he a willing participant?
He was a willing participant, but bekukhona nje izinto ezithile, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes good things are not that easy to find. You know, if a good thing is a kuwe ngqo, ibeke eceleni, go for the bad thing.
No one will agree with you.
You've got to struggle. You've got to struggle.
No one will agree with you there.
So we got him.
Yeah.
And I think I had only a week
to
work with him. Damn. Yo! He like blew me away.
What?
He blew me away.
What language? Xhosa.
Xhosa.
Yeah.
Yo! That boy.
And it's young, relatively young.
Yes, that boy. Jonga, he was ready within a week.
Incredible. Teleprompter is not easy.
No, it's not easy, Mtanam. It is not easy.
No, President, you know.
It is not easy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to prove a point, Kuwe Uguti. We've got young people out there, abalambileyo, who are hungry for opportunities.
And we have the skill.
Yeah. All they need is just someone. Ukubavusa. Hey, wena, wake up. You've got what it takes.
Got it. What do you think is the problem? Because you say it with such emphasis, almost as if saying to all of us that we are not seeing the reality. What do you think is the problem? Where it seems like maybe there's an overlook of these young people. We move on thinking that they don't know enough.
I think, Mtanam, the problem is that whenever you start something, you want, asoze nthathi novice. Izoba opener. Izoba opener in a big match cricket.
Yeah, no.
No.
We need to go start veteran.
Veteran.
Yeah.
I think that's where we go wrong. How about pairing a veteran with a novice?
True. So they gain the experience. Yeah.
And that's not retireisha.
Gune succession.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's someone in the
already.
Yeah. That's incredible.
It's easy.
Because it applies to a lot of industries, not just what you do.
Not just what I'm doing.
Yeah. It applies everywhere.
It's as easy as that.
We should watch this young man.
Watch him.
What's his name?
Watch him. King B.
Oh, King
Boy. I call him King Boy.
Yeah.
He's wonderful.
Let's talk about language and young people. Do you find that there's an appreciation? Because you love your language, you love your culture, and that's what shines across through all the time. Did you struggle with that, to find young people who are able to embrace the language like older people used to?
You're going to say in their talk.
Tell me.
When I say no.
It wasn't that challenging.
No, it wasn't that challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, when we ran auditions, we had young people from around Johannesburg who wanted to be Xhosa anchors.
Jeez. And they had it.
Uyazi David, ne? If ubiziwe kwi-auditions and awathathwa, it doesn't say David hasn't got it. But that experience of being in that studio and experiencing auto-cue, cameras and everything, there is something that it does in you and plants in you. And if awuthathwanga, there is nothing that stops you, David, from going back to them and say, what is it that I didn't do right? So that tomorrow when David calls me in for an audition, I know exactly what to do right.
What do I need to improve?
What do I need to improve on? And also, my recent trip to Gqeberha, where we were celebrating 200 years, yokubhalwa kwesiXhosa. It opened my eyes kule nto ibuzayo about young people nokuthetha isiXhosa. I mean, when I finished, delivering a speech sam, hey wena, young people were coming to the stage like bullets, bebonga, praise singers in isiXhosa. Young people. I think abanye babo man David were in grade 7.
But they had it. They had the language.
Yo. Jonga.
Goosebumps.
there was a young boy, Owandi Impressa, and did something that I had never seen done before, where you mix poetry with stage drama.
So he was performing.
Performance and praise singing. When he started it, I thought Uguti he was going to give us a one-man show. Apaya khona uye staging, uyokisnik, damn it, wachinji giya lumntana. Hey! And la stage act yakhe was a scene setter to his poem. And it is that stage scene setter that sank kum as a parent, that spoke to me as a parent, that opened my eyes as a parent as to how much we do not understand our children.
Sure. Hey, that must have been a moment, eh?
It was not just a moment. It was a wow. Wow, are we doing enough?
What do you mean when you say are we doing? What are you asking?
We are just complaining that our languages are dying. But what are we doing to save them from sudden death?
And yet kids are doing something.
And yet kids out there, why are we so blind that we do not see these things?
That's because we do say our languages are dying. We do say young kids don't speak African language.
Yes, we do say that.
Yeah, it's a common narrative that.
You know why you are saying that? It is because we're in Johannesburg.
We are in this tiny little bubble.
We have boxed ourselves in this goal of ours. And we forgot into okokubana if abantwana baseGauteng ababuyi isiSuthu, abakhuluma isiZulu, abathethi isiXhosa, that does not necessarily mean that young people don't appreciate language. Bakhona abantwana in the bundus, in the rural areas. Yeah. Have you forgotten about them? That is what that boy said to me. I am the forgotten African child who is proud of his language.
So Bakon.
They are there.
And there are many.
There are many. Let's open our eyes.
Stop complaining.
We're
very good at that.
And do something.
How did the love for language come about for you?
There
must have been an elder somewhere.
I never thought that I would earn a song through a language. But I think being brought up by by grandparents, people tend to think that, oh, spoiled little brat.
Gets everything they want.
But I was brought up by umakhulu no tatomkhulu were both teachers. And they were not that teachers kwezo institutions bebe kuzo, they were even teachers at home. They taught us the importance of reading.
Yeah.
I grew up in an environment of readers, be it a newspaper or books or anything.
Yeah.
You know, I knew ukuthi it was my responsibility to make sure ukuthi utatomkhulu iphepha lakhe, whoever goes to town to buy paper, a newspaper for him, iphepha lakhe ndilisa kutatomkhulu.
Yeah.
And sometimes utatomkhulu would read the headline for me. Ndiyazelaphi English, but he would read it anyway. And then my grandmother had reading sessions for us in the evenings. Book reading sessions. Apho sasizawufunda khona iXhosa literature. Someone would read out to us incwadi yesiXhosa. It was a Xhosa novel time, let me call it that way, where we would all sit quiet on the floor and listen to Usis Nomazocho reading this book to us. And would listen carefully because the next day before she picks up from where she left off ne kuzofuneka simkhumbuze ukuthi hayi kaloku remember si izolo siyeke kusenzeka ABCD. That is what is expected of us.
Yeah.
And then she continues. So I grew up in that type of environment. And yakhulisa uthando lokufunda incwadi nakum. And as a result, ukufunda incwadi was something that I loved doing, because there was something that was like, oh, nam ndifuna ufunda njengosisochi. You know, I want to read and be like usisochi. As a Sunday school child, reading the Bible was something that I wanted to make 24 forward, because ebezawuthi umistress we Sunday school ubani ozawusifundela ivesi. And I would read.
Wow. Did you get a chance even at home to read in front of them like usisi?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Because we ngela xesha sasikhula ngalo kwakukhona imagazine yethu esikolweni, primary school. Eish, andiqondi ubuyayo, I were not.
No, help us.
Wamba umhlobo wabantwana.
No, I wouldn't know that.
You wouldn't know that. But Iwamba besifumana ezikolweni.
Okay.
And so when I get Iwamba, it was my opportunity to shine and read out to umakhulu notamkhulu.
Do you realize that it's multiple skills that you get in that space? You get the space to read in front of an audience,
yes.
And you also perfect your reading as well.
Exactly.
Because reading in front of an audience can be quite daunting for a lot of people.
Yes, it is. It is. That is why I am saying, you know, the culture that they brought us up in, you know, of book reading and listening. Because one other thing that they emphasize was that Zochi is reading and you are expected to listen. And the following day, you've got to remember what you heard. So I think that was my university.
That's why I say, when you look back
I've
at that
been to
time,
university
you have.
At a very early age.
Exactly. Because we grow up without that skill. Do you know that? The skill, one, to read. The appreciation of reading. Because that's why we're not a society of readers. The appreciation of reading and appreciation of reading African language. Most of us, that was it.
I collect Xhosa books.
Gee, you still do.
I still do.
Yeah.
I discover shops that sell incwadi zesiXhosa that you'd even dream of going to. Diagonal Street in Joburg. When were you last there?
A while ago.
A while ago.
Yeah.
If I tell you that there is a corner bookshop there that sells Xhosa, Zulu, Sotho literature, will you believe me?
Incredible.
You won't believe me, because that's not the place where, you know, you'd find that type of literature.
It's incredible for me because when we read up on you and see your life, it's pretty clear that the love for language, the love for culture comes across as well. And it must have been from the same source.
Yes. Yazi, let me tell you another thing. My grandparents were both teachers. And I'm sure the first thing that comes to mind, Aisha. Right. No. They exposed us to all traditional foods. It was not just rice, meat, 7 colors. No. We were exposed to traditional foods, imifino, besiwudla ubufino ekhaya, umqa. We ate umqa ekhaya, umngqusho. We ate umngqusho ekhaya, inkobe. We ate inkobe ekhaya, amasi. We ate amasi as a meal. You know, amachewu, umcuku.
Homemade amachewu. Yes.
Umcuku. You know what umcuku is?
Umcuku.
It's a caramel pap.
Okay.
Mixed with amachewu, millimil to millimil.
Because amachewu is millimil.
Millimil, yes. Millimil to millimil. We ate that. It was a meal.
Yeah.
It was not a snack. It was a meal. So they exposed us to that kind of life, you know. Bekhona amasimi ekhaya, you know. If we season yokulima and it's school holidays, besukusukutye emasimini.
Yes.
Sithwale izitya ezinkulu enhloko.
Neil.
Sihambisela abantu abasebenzayo emasimini ukutya. We did all those things.
What?
You know, umama bekenegadi ekhaya umakhulu. She had her small garden. Besinkcenkceshela. You know, we knew ukuthi irresponsibility yethu ukunkcenkceshela. Bekafuye inkukhu. It was our responsibility to clean. You know, ihoko yenkukhu. Uyabona? So akhange sikhule
soft.
No. And akhange sikhule hard. Sikhule sifundiswa umsebenzi.
It seems like it was intentional. This entire thing.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was. It was. It's a pity. May their soul rest in peace. You know, you never got you to meet my grandparents. You know, and I will treasure them and love them. You know, and appreciate whatever it is, you know, that they did for me. They shaped me. You will say, what do you know about being shaped? Because that was a very early age. You know, my granddad was a disciplinarian. Spare the rod.
Yes.
Spoil the child.
So you make a mess, you'll know it. I
have his marks.
Oh.
I bear them. And whenever I look at them, it is with love that I look at them. You know, because when that punishment was muted, you would know Ukuba, it is not abuse. It is not because of abuse. It would make you know it is love. You did something wrong. Because it was not just me.
Who else was there?
Oh, everyone. Grandchildren. I grew up in a big family. We're all grandchildren. My uncle's sons and daughters. The house was always full of people.
Yeah. Where was Mommy at this stage?
Mommy was with Daddy Dearest at that stage. I grew up in Fort Beaufort.
Yes.
In the Eastern Cape. And my mom was staying with my dad in Butterworth, then Ciskei.
Why didn't you move with them?
Then Transkei. As my daughter would say, my mom was celebrating, I think, 80th birthday or 79th birthday. But my daughter was like, I think she did a bit of maths.
Calculate.
And
but
then
okay.
She went to my mom. Haibo, day. Umama, is she a teen pregnancy?
Well,
so you understand.
Yes. Why they're old enough now to calculate how.
Yes. So you understand why I had to be brought up by Umakhulu, you know. But then I later joined them.
Okay.
My dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I spent the best part of my formative years with my grandparents.
Was it when you joined, actually a big change in your life from that intentional we are teaching a child? What was the difference?
It was, firstly, you must know that I didn't call my grandmother Makhulu. I called her Umama. It is because of the nurturing that I received from her. Everybody else was calling her Khulu. But me, I was like calling her Umama. And I claimed a position yoba last born.
Last born yakhe.
Last born yakhe. Bendilwa nomalume who is the last born. Didn't him last born.
Yeah.
You know? And honestly, going to stay with my mom and my dad, it was not easy. Not because of anything that was wrong with them. I think it was because of the attachment It was because of the attachment
of Granny.
to umama.
Yeah.
To umama. And I just could not see myself with anyone but umama. But with time, I accepted the new environment, but it took me a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, David. It took me a long time, and enye into bendisemaplazini, bendisezilalini, and my mom and dad were staying in a dorpy, in a town.
You didn't like that?
No.
You would expect one to like the lights and the shininess of a dorpy.
I remember my mom sent me to a bottle store to buy spirit, and it bekulaitu izibane zeparaffin.
Oh yes.
Bebe sebenzisa ispirit. Yeah.
Yes.
So ndiya ke bottle store ndiyothenga ispirit. My grandmom used to brew hops.
Okay.
At home.
Yeah.
So ndiyangena ke apha. Yo, and then naleli vumba le hops. It took me back home. The first thing I asked, yo, niyayithengisa hops up. Can I buy? And everybody was like laughing at me. No, my dear, we don't sell hops here. We sell beer.
Your grandma would have done well in COVID. Nearly hops.
Yeah.
And people were needing hops.
Yeah, so it took me a long time to adjust to dorpy life. As compared to village life.
Were you?
I'm unolali at heart. I'm a village girl.
Village girl, yeah.
I'm a village girl.
Who else was there? Mommy and Daddy and
mommy and Daddy and my two and my brother.
Yeah.
Noxolo. And then later kwaba khona umangaliso.
Okay.
The umangaliso uzalwe sendihlala nabo ke otata.
Okay.
Utata no mama. So it was Noxolo, Noxolo and Mangaliso. And umakhulu was not staying far from where we were staying. Ebesebenza kwamlungu.
Okay.
So ebe kufutshane my umakhulu wam on my father's side. So I also found umama.
Similar.
Yes. I think that's what made stay saba, comfortable, and ndakwazi adjust quickly because ndifumene umakhulu who was basically the same as my makhulu in a different way.
Yes, in a dorpy.
In a dorpy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your relationship with the parents, was that an easy one?
It was not,
Because these are relatively young, particularly your mom is a young mother.
Yes, it was not. Yayibona kaloku lento uqhele umzali kuwe ngutamkhulu nomama badala. Yabona, and then nansi le light na le cherry.
And they call themselves parents.
And iwes utatambe kadlala ibhola.
Was he a superstar?
He was a superstar. Edlalela Blackburn Rovers. So good to apart. And I'm like,
this guy is my dad.
And the bebaleka ne marathons, comrades.
Yeah.
We understand. But I grew to love them. It changed. I call Lula for anyone, But it's something that we have to adjust to.
And you did.
And I adjusted to. And I think what made it easy is that I did not have to call them Mama Dad. I called them Day and my dad, hi.
How did that come about?
It's because whenever he greets people, he would say hi. And then we called him hi, and everybody was calling him hi. And then it made it easy.
Yes.
So I just called him hi, and my mom Uday, because my dad was Uday.
Okay, and that's the
and
name.
And then that settled it. It was easy.
Were you the only one who chose that line? Did the brothers also change?
Yes, everyone.
Hi and Day.
And Day.
That's cool.
It was Tata. Xa senze into wrong
Of
and we're
course,
going
of
to
course.
be punished.
Yes.
Xolo, Tata.
Imagine saying "Xolo, hi." That doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
Your mom's still Day, obviously. You still refer to her as Day.
Even my children and my grandchildren, everyone
Calls her Day.
you even called her Day the other day. You remember?
Yes, on the radio. Wow. And Utata, the Blackburn Rovers guy.
The Blackburn Rovers is still high.
How was that life experience of a superstar celebrity in the house?
Bengicaphukisa yazi because xa sihamba sisiye groundini siyombukela edlala andithi Blackburn Rovers benayo neteam ye-netball.
Okay.
So xa escora all these girls flocking into the field.
All these netball girls.
I was fighting the battle for my mother.
That's funny.
No.
Wow. So he was a star.
He was a star, shame.
Jeez. Did he carry on with football long?
No. He didn't.
Why was that?
I never bothered to ask him.
Yeah.
You know, I think it is because he started with ukubaleka and why he was in love with this long distance running thing.
Yeah. Did you have, because your story reads as if the move to Joburg was only with mommy.
Yes, uyayazi life, Mos. Hey, life.
Yeah.
Hey, yokushaya dizi mntanami.
So kwaba ne-life.
Kwaba ne-life happened.
And you had to move to Johannesburg.
And my mom had to move to Johannesburg. We joined Umama. I think after 4 years or so.
Oh, so she moved alone
She
first.
moved alone.
Jeez. How did you take it as a child?
Oh, badly.
Mm.
I was angry. I was angry for the longest of time.
Bokwatele ban. Bokwateleni.
I was angry at both of them.
Mm.
They shouldn't have taken me away from Umakhulu, not Amkhulu. If what they were going to give me, I was going to lose.
Yes.
Just when I was getting used to the new Day and high, just when I was starting to love them, I've got now again to learn to love them separately. I was angry.
Jeez.
For the longest of time.
How did you express your anger?
Hatred.
Ooh, that's deep. That's a deep emotion.
It's a very deep emotion. And I will just leave it at that. Don't ask me hating who.
Yes, but it was a deep hate.
It was deep, deep hate.
Have you ever overcome it?
Recently.
Only
recently.
Wow. You held it on for too long. For a long, long time.
I held it on for a long, long time. I couldn't breathe. It was suffocating me.
Incredible.
It was suffocating me. And I think taking up a calling as a preacher, it helped me take me to that space, you know, of learning to forgive.
Yeah.
Ngaphandle kokuba uDavid acela uxolo.
Okay. Where it all happens with you.
That is the most difficult thing to do. Because for me to forgive you, I expect you to say, Eish, uxolo, I'm so sorry.
And you wait for that uxolo.
And you wait for that, I'm so sorry. But it took me to a stage where it said, you have to forgive.
Yeah.
When? And move on and forget.
Yeah. And you only got it now.
Yes.
How recent is recent? Was it also waiting for retirement?
It was. Was it 3 years? 2.5
so
or
it's
so.
Quite recent.
It's quite recent. But you wouldn't know that I was feeling that way.
You were holding...
Because I was interacting with my dad. I was interacting with Omama. You know, I was doing stuff that I'm supposed to do as a child. But deep down, I was hurting.
Sure. That's amazing. You know, there's a lot of people like that who are waiting for I'm sorry. And waiting for I'm sorry can also be a burden to carry.
You could even go to your grave.
Yeah.
Ungamfumelanga. Lo, I am sorry.
How did it feel, the relief of forgiving?
Oh, I cried. When that feeling hit me, and you tell yourself, when that feeling hit me, I cried for days. Cried for days.
You said, I'm done with this.
I cried for days. Cried for days.
Sure.
It was my mourning period. It was like I was bearing something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so for me, what fascinates me more about it is that it's not an old thing, this. In terms of you getting... It shows how long people can carry it. Because I'm doing my own maths as well. And my mathematics tells me that you were in your teens when you got this anger. And you've only just given it up now in your 60s.
In my 60s.
Imagine how long that is to carry anger and hate for people that you're supposed to love.
And they don't even see it.
You don't show it.
I don't show it. And I give them warmth and I give them love and I embrace them and I treat them the way everybody else should be treated.
Deep down. The schooling life for you. Give me that a little bit. You studied here, because there's no university.
No, there's no university.
Yes.
You remember I said to you, my mom came to Joburg. So, you calculated and you said in 1981.
That's when you moved here.
1980, December.
Okay.
We left home. We did not just live in peace.
Oh no. Oh no. It was a... Jeez. That's crazy.
But we did not run away from home.
Yeah, like
to live in the streets.
Like crazy people.
Like, to live in the streets.
Yes.
We just wanted to be with our mom.
All the three of you?
All three of us.
Yeah. Was it was it planned?
We were missing her.
Yes.
We were missing her. Yes, it was planned.
The three of you?
The three of us. No, the two of us. The other one was too young.
Yeah.
But we came to Joburg.
Yeah. Did you know where you were going?
We knew that my mother was staying in Joburg, somewhere in Dube.
Okay.
That we knew.
Yeah.
But we did not go to Johannesburg straight to Johannesburg. We started we haven't seen, family on my mother's side for a long time.
Okay.
So we started at my uncle's in East London, and then we stayed for some days there, and then we went to Hilltown where I was brought up.
Wow.
And we spent Christmas, and I was back to my roots.
Wait, how are you feeling with this move? Because it looks like you were defiant. You were doing something you were not supposed to be doing.
I was not feeling guilty.
Oh, okay.
Is that enough?
That's good enough.
I was feeling I was doing something that I needed to do for my mom.
Okay. So it wasn't a negative feeling.
No, it wasn't. I needed to do this for her.
Yeah.
She must be lonely. I was thinking of Joburg as this monster of a place. We understand?
It's still a monster of a place.
Oh, she's all alone.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anyone. Let me do this for her.
And you did. But what? You were both tracker, like, people who are moving from one place to another, like a nomad. You were just in transit.
And she prepared us and told us that you are living a comfort of a home. Bantwana bam. Unekamera yakho ke wena sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And nihleli comfortable. There's a dining room, there's a kitchen, there's a big yacht, there's a what, there's a what. You are coming to a room smaller than your bedroom at home.
Oh.
We said, fine.
Rather that.
We said, fine. And you uhlala khona when? So, if wena uhlala khona, why not, Tina?
Yes.
And we stayed there.
Did anybody else know this plan in the family? That's
just my mom.
Oh, she knew. I'm asking this because you described how you moved from one place to another, ended up Nabokog. So did they know?
I'm sure my mother told them that the children were coming.
Because it's a big move. It's not a small life move.
I prayed about it. Hard. I knew I was doing something wrong.
Right, but wrong.
Right, but wrong.
And it worked.
Yeah, it did.
Tell us the journey. Because you're old enough then. You were 20.
You can imagine. This is Zimela, basically. We're running away from home.
Pretty much, yeah.
And finesse cross the border.
Oh, konje, it was yeah, of course.
We're crossing from the Transkei to the
South Africa.
To the Ciskei
first,
yes, to the Ciskei. And a passport.
Hey. How did you do it?
No, my father kept my passport with him. Maybe he sensed ukuthi lo angabaleka lo angimthembi.
Yeah. What?
So ipassport yami beyihlala kutata so bengingayazi aphi ikhoyo. So but my brother lo ozemva kwami benayo eyakhe.
Okay.
And then my younger brother omncinci ebengenayo so bekufuneka ahambe.
Are you tall?
Ahambe ngomntu like ahambe nawe. Unabantwana kwi-passport. Uthi umtrain. We crossed illegally.
What?
Mna ke fortunately xa ufika eborder uyakwazi uthenga an emergency passport.
Yeah.
So I did that. Ngoku into endihlekisayo ne. Olacala liphuma eSiskei and it's counter that side. The people who are going into can see the people that are going
opposite direction.
The opposite direction. Yes. So there's a guy in Fundanai. Hey man Noxolo. Uphume bathung. Kutheni ngathi niyazimela nje.
Washo njalo.
And then my uncle was like, hey wena, yes chomi zakho yini ngokwenzakalana.
Uyapapa lo.
Dai, hawuphume kanjani? Phe iphume indihamba nomama. Oh, molo mama. That's how I stopped him. And esaphansi sabhaqwa. Basically. Because as he was saying that, I remember seeing one of the guys abasebenza khona amapolice apha kwi-border. I think that guy was my father's friend.
And you think he may have picked up?
That's why I quickly said, hi man, sisahamba nomama siyabuya. You understand? So that's
crazy. I wonder if there are people with similar stories.
But then we crossed.
You crossed.
Hallelujah.
And you made it. Was it just the three of you?
It was just the three of us.
Umalume made it only to the border.
Umalume no mama came to fetch us.
Okay.
Ngemoto phela.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand.
All the way.
So all the way.
Sure. What a life. And there you are in the city of gold.
And there I am in the city of gold. Yo, dandisoyika noye shop.
Why?
Kanti kaloku there are these stories ukuthi iRhawuti liginya abantu.
So mohlala.
If umama undithume shop ndiyothenga isonka, yo, it was a mission. I would sprint to the shop and beg.
So nobody stops you.
But then I try.
So how did you experience the room that she told you about? When you arrived now in Johannesburg and what, wow, this is a room.
It was a room. But I think umama did everything to make that room feel homely.
Okay.
I'm not saying house.
Of course.
To make it feel homely.
And sometimes homely is better than house.
Yes. And I think it is the love that was in the air.
Yeah.
That made that room feel like you say mansion. I mean, there was basically nothing. I was sleeping on the floor with my brother. My mother was sharing the bed with my younger brother. There was just a wardrobe. We did not even have a decent cupboard.
Sure.
It was just a wooden box that served as indawo yokuphekela nokubeka ukutya nembiza ezitsha.
That's it.
That's it. That's how big the room was.
But it worked.
It worked.
Was she happy to have you?
Oh my. You could have seen the smile on her face when she saw the last born. And you know that moment when they met in the car?
Yeah.
And it was like, my younger brother still remembers. And he was like, Uday, you, what jump, wayaguy, nakala. I like, that moment was so magical. And I'm like, if my father can see this, he will forgive me. Definitely forgive me.
How old was the little one, give or take?
Primary.
What? So that means they were separated for when he was really young, but still remembered.
For instance, esikolweni, people were thinking ukuthi ngumntanami.
Oh yes.
Because he was always here. We understand. Even if we go we go home on shopping days, because when say boarding school, on shopping days, my first stop will be home and I will fetch him. And Jovandi busy shopping ula dihamba naye. So esikoleni we're like, how can't you know mntana?
Can't know. It's my mom's child.
Yeah. So I actually mothered at a
very young age.
Very young age.
And you come to Johannesburg. You have to get a job. You can't just hang around.
Hey, get a job. Ungena nix. Uyakwazi ukutype, but you don't have anything that says you are a typist.
Okay. And you learned this from high school? I
learned this from high school, and there was a typewriter at home, and I liked using it because I liked writing. You know. So I had to go to a computer academy because ngoku besekungena computers.
Yes. There were lots of those type of academies.
So I had to work myself, ahead. Although there were still typewriters in the mix, but I had to at least know how to use a computer. And so I perfected my typing skill in a computer school.
Okay.
And dapasane. And then I looked for a job. And I got an opportunity at SABC. There were two positions.
Yeah.
No. I applied for a translator and a typist. And kwavela I position a typist that yay. Yay! Let me go to this interview.
And I'm trying to think back at that time, because this is apartheid SABC.
Yeah.
It's a very different time as well. Were you well received? What environment did you find?
Jonga. Yabona, I first day yam of my first interview. You remember he had got us this Auckland Park.
Oh, that's when it was
and
already.
And then offices there too.
They were Marshalltown or something
in
town.
Commissioner
Street, yes.
And Commissioner Street and basi commuter nge SABC staff bus.
Okay.
I don't know how many times ndikhwela staff bus from a Commissioner Street to Auckland Park. Auckland Park, Commissioner Street. That day. That's what I did.
That day alone. Why?
That day alone.
Why did you have to do that so often?
Why fanele siqashe i-typist vele Transkei zikhona i-typist eSoweto?
Is that what happened?
Yes.
What?
It was like back and forth and the head of department lebe indifuna ibhale letter iti I want that typist go hambisa la letter back to Auckland Park. Ihambise Auckland Park. Auckland Park nabo babuye ne response yabo ndibuyise phinde go back.
But not this one.
Jonga, I took the last bus. You remember my interview was at 8.
Mm-hmm.
I took the last bus at 4 o'clock from Auckland Park. And I left that office in tears.
Because?
There was no hope that I'll be getting this job.
Jeez. Because of these up and down.
Because, and I think Nale up and down, it had drained me.
Yeah. So at this stage, you're already aware that kunalaba kufunayo, kunalaba ngakufuna.
Kunalaba bangfunayo. Mandingathi abangangfuniyo who cannot understand why they must take a typist from the Transkei.
If there's a typist
If there's a typist in Soweto. Wena une contract. Because of nasi goduse, you renew a contract yearly. A Transkei, because that's how things work.
Oh,
today.
yes, of course.
You remember?
We're dealing with you're a foreign national.
Yes, I'm a foreign national.
Yes.
So, David, fast forward to the 1st of December, 1983, when I received that telegram. 80, I am supposed to report for duty on the 1st of December.
Tell me that feeling.
Yo, then the 12 o'clock.
Really?
Then the 12 o'clock. Then the 12 o'clock telegram. I was waiting for my mother to come back from work. Uyeva. Ndamva esegate nebulisa abantu. And I was like, I'm starting.
SABC.
At the SABC. Bakutatile. Oh, God is good.
How was life before that job?
Life was okay. It's such that, David, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself.
Okay.
We might have been happy. Kula room. But as a firstborn, I was like, no, Noxolo, this cannot be okay.
Okay. This room is not enough, basically.
This room is not enough, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Even when we moved to a garage,
yeah,
I was like, even a garage, it is not enough.
Okay.
So it is that pressure that I was exerting on myself that was not making me feel comfortable. That as the eldest, you've got to make this better.
That's the father role that you speak of.
That's the father role that I speak of.
Yeah.
And I did it very well. I don't need anyone to tell me that because my mother still calls me, oh, Dana Mungumyena.
So you did earn a living.
I did earn a living.
Yeah.
I did earn a living and true to my goals.
Yeah.
True to my goals.
What were the goals at the time?
Save for a house.
Jeez.
Save for a house.
How did you manage to go to school, though? Was your mom able to pay for that? The computer school?
I got a job.
Okay.
At not far from SABC, Macaulay House School for Girls.
Yes.
As a typist there.
So the skill was always there.
I got a job as a typist, the school typist.
With the high school typing skills.
Yes. And then I make money aside. My mother was like, no, begi mali for the academy. Begi mali for the academy. She and Jimali ukwela. And then imali yokutya.
But you were not satisfied with that typist's
No.
role.
No.
You wanted more.
No. You see, I bendifuna ukutyper as a typist.
Yes.
Kube khona iphepha.
But you were already typing at the school.
Listen, I was already typing at the school. It's fine. But if I wanted to move to a better place, I needed something that says, Noxolo, you are a typist. And not just say a typist because I can type.
Okay. You needed the title to come with it.
I needed a title and a paper.
Okay, I'm a typist.
Then paper.
You wanted to be official.
I wanted to be official.
Yeah. Ilo yokuthi manjola ukuthi batsenzani lapha. What is this? So you wanted to confirm a relationship.
Ngifuna ukonfirm le relationship yami. Kutsenzani siyaphi. And we got somewhere. We got to the SABC.
And I'll be typist.
I'm a typist, son.
Money changed. It must have improved.
Oh, yes. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. You've been saver.
If now you were saving even more for better.
It's worse when I joined Current Affairs as their PA, production assistant.
Yeah. Oh, that's how the move came about. What did they see in you that this typist now can do more?
No, I just met Uxoli Mazibuko outside during lunchtime. So, hi, Xoli, kunjani? Good, man, Xoli. Hey, sancokola. Are you good, pa? Typing pool.
Yes.
I said, why? I said, no, man, we've got a position, pa, with Current Affairs. We're looking for a production assistant. Indonle. No, it's like news and current affairs, production assistant. It's basically what part of what you are doing and more. I said, oh, and more. Okay, if there's more, I want them more. And then that's how I got into
current affairs.
Into current affairs, which was a gateway to news.
And you stay there. There must be mentors in that space.
Yes, and another thing that helped me in that space is that I had a very good boss.
In the typing or after the production?
Both were good bosses, but the production assistant was God sent.
Who's that? Is it still around?
Umataitai, may his soul rest in peace, is late. Mr. Henny van Wyk.
Why did Benimiz Umataitai?
I don't know. What does Mataitai mean?
I don't know.
It was a nickname. I did his suit.
Okay.
So abantu bathethe suit bamnikeza nickname but Mataitai. So strangely Umataitai wanted to know more about me.
Yeah.
Okay, uhlalapi ndondoni, when I started, no ndihlala Soweto garage bese simovile from the room.
Which neighborhood in Soweto? Dube. Oh, still there, yes.
Yeah. Okay, umama wakho usebenza phi? No, usebenza phi Checkers head office. Okay, ngubani igama lakhe? Oh, really?
He was interested.
And he went to meet my mom. Okay, Lorraine's mother. Yes, okay. I'm her boss, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Fine. So, what are your plans?
Asking you.
The boss. Aish, meneer. I want money. I want to save. I want my first priority is to take my family out of the garage. How are you planning to do that? I'm still saving as much as I can.
Yeah.
And he said, you're not going to be using much of your typing skill here. You'll be only using it when you're filling in forms for the guys, for the journalists who are traveling and any other paperwork that I ask you to do. Most of the time you'll be in the studio, we'll teach you studio work. That's what you'll be taught here. And then you need to do something with your with your typing though.
Don't just
Yes.
lose it.
Can I get you an extra job? Will you manage? I said, yes. What's extra job? No, typing scripts. I said, yes. Okay, I will get you something so that you can type radio scripts for a children's program. Will you do that? I said, yo, I'll have to buy a typewriter. I don't have a typewriter. Okay, you can work after hours. Here for the first month. And when you earn your first pay yako, kule job, buy a typewriter, and then you can work from home and not abuse the facilities zasemsebenzini. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
To give you that month to
give you that
to get
month
your own.
To get my own. And I did that.
Yeah.
And then that kick-started my savings.
Like
and
it actually boosted your savings.
David.
Wow.
I did not just save for a deposit. Ne? I could even furnish that.
What? That's big. What did he like in you? Because clearly this is a kind soul.
And I think like is an understatement. I was like a daughter.
Wow.
Do you know that he taught me about saving?
Went beyond the work.
Went beyond. He even sent to come to Carltonville because by then we moved to Carltonville.
Yes.
Obesebenzela these insurance companies ukuthi andiniki investment.
Wow, he took an interest, eh?
An investment that, David, I took and forgot about. Completely.
Yeah.
And wathi kufuneka itsalwe ebank. And forgot about it, David.
Incredible.
Completely forgot about. Do you know when it matured, I was already staying in Dawn Park.
Had already bought a house.
And I had already bought a house and I received this thingy, 80. Simon Schwabsi, what policy are they talking about?
What
policy are they talking? And he said, yo, you remember kwafika umntu so sise Carltonville.
That's amazing.
You know, so that's why ndithi kuwe liking is an understatement. I think he was an angel.
We need, and those who get those type of angels are lucky, and we always need those type of people. We don't even know how they come to our lives.
Nah.
They do.
Then they do.
Yeah.
And they do. And he even he gave me my first on-air experience.
He did?
He did.
I hear is it true it was a stand-in?
Yes, it was a stand-in.
How did he take a chance with that? Were you showing any knowledge of the job?
Jonga, I had never, except what he knew ukuthi I was a Xhosa.
That's it.
And they needed a Xhosa stand-in.
What had happened with the regular?
And he said, get a Xhosa and make a tour. Why are you guys panicking?
Get the Xhosa and make a tour. Sounds like a name of a movie.
Bring her in. I have a Xhosa in my office. Bring her in.
What?
He just relied on the fact that she's Xhosa.
Who was meant to be in? Do you remember?
Mkhokheli.
And was off on that day.
No, he for some reason he got sick
and couldn't come to
and
work.
He couldn't come to work.
There was no other Xhosa in the vicinity.
I was the only Xhosa in the cantor, man. Why are you saying vicinity? Ufuna ndimise la opportunity go.
She's in the cantor.
In the cantor. The cantor was nearer to the studio,
course, yes.
and we needed.
And one get bakshanga makeup.
Powder, usathi makeup, powder, lipstick. I always say this. I even remember the outfit. Ndandinxibe iqhiya, blue and black. Ndizibophile sana ziyi-2. Ndinxibe i-sweater, a blue and black.
Were you looking the part?
The part kanjani. I was not formal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not at all. I was
an African girl.
Well, just good enough.
Good enough. They had a dookie.
Sheer.
Makeup, lipstick, just powder. lipstick.
How are you feeling? How does this? What kind of energy were you going through?
I think I asked them what I was gonna do.
Uh,
They said read. Read what? Auto cue. I knew the auto cue because I was working as a production assistant.
mhm.
You're gonna read the auto cue. Just pretend you are reading news.
They call it pretend.
Pretend you are reading
Yes.
news. You're just reading Xhosa. I said, okay, fine.
Wahla.
I read the Bible in Sunday school. You know, I've been reading Xhosa books. So, all I need to do is to read. I did reading in class, esikolweni. So I'm reading isiXhosa and not English. Yes, good.
I like how in this moment you reflect back to even when you were a kid reading at Sunday school, because they all these experiences come together.
They come together
in this one moment.
in this one moment.
Did you pull it off?
Come on, don't you have a better word?
I don't actually. My vocabulary fails me.
Don't you have a better word?
My vocabulary fails me. So you kicked it out of the park. You were incredible.
Listen. Umkhokheli was about to lose his job.
Oh, poor Mkhokheli. Oh, no. So were you nervous at all? No.
And I should have been nervous. I hated myself.
That's
for
why
not
I'm asking.
No, it's because bavele bayenza lula, but you'll be reading. I said, okay, let's read.
But surely you must have known that I'm on TV.
I knew that I was on TV, but it never registered.
The magnitude of the job. This is a big deal.
No. TV, okay.
Whatever.
So what?
What's that? Okay, let's go. So, but 3, 2, you're live.
Andithi nam ndijwayele ukutyumisha abantu. Ndimo babalelayo. Ndithi countdown.
Countdown.
So i-countdown iza kum.
Jojo.
So I know what's going on in
behind
the
the
booth.
scenes.
I know what's going on behind the scenes, so I'm good.
This is familiar.
This is familiar. I've got my
earpiece
on. I can hear what's going on there. So it's good. I understand their language.
You've been doing this.
So I'm on the chair. They're speaking my language. So
and they're
what?
talking to me now.
They're talking to me now.
I'm still surprised that it didn't scare you.
No, it didn't. That's why I'm angry that it didn't scare me. It should have scared me.
It should, I guess.
Should have scared me.
And there you are.
It should have scared me. And we were just saying, Uma Tai Tai, he opened even the door for me.
Even that door.
That door and the door, yes, a news. A news when they needed a stand-in presenter. You became. For Usisthandi. I mean, he's a boss. The boss, as a news, was talking. They were talking. Hey, sisengxakini. What are ye?
I get a tosser in my country.
I need a problem, man. I need loan.
And did you automatically become that news anchor, or it took some time?
It didn't take time.
Jojo.
Because I held the fort for Usisthandi, and unfortunately she passed on. May her soul rest in peace.
Yeah. And batubani umkhokheli?
No, that was not current affairs. That was news now. Talking about news.
Yes.
News.
Yeah.
Umkhokheli kept on doing
his thing.
Into yakhe kwelaa cala. And so I had to go for auditions. The post Yakasisthandi opened up, and then we had to go for auditions.
Hey, there you were. You already had all the experience, though, eh?
Yeah, it was not fair for other people.
I think so, too.
It wasn't fair.
But it was your time.
I guess so.
It was your time.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. And that's how I got in.
37 years of that.
I'm a chance in it.
37 years of that. How long did it take you to finally buy the house? from the minute it was a dream to actually activating it? Or maybe from after getting this big job?
It didn't take long.
Yeah.
I think for a year, I was typing like, ingathi ndiyapambana.
Just so you can get savings.
Jonga bendihlala naphezu kwebhedi. And
yes. Are you still good at it? You must be.
I am. You can't. No, there is no way.
You don't lose it.
No, I can't lose it.
Yeah.
I can't lose it. I can't lose it.
That's amazing. I must tell you, when I find this part of your life story, it blows me away. Let me ask you, how do you reflect on it when you think of those years from jumping the border to ending up at Dube? And then now you're this lady who's on TV. That's a good, 2-3 years? How do you reflect on it when you think about it? That moment.
Ukuve David, when something happens and you're asking yourself, how did I get here?
Yeah.
and you kind of feel, I cannot take credit for being here.
There's somebody else or someone else, some energy.
Some energy must have been at play here. I don't know if you have ever had such moments.
Yeah, lots.
And I think that is exactly how I felt, And when we actually moved, it was not like a big house, David.
But it was bigger than a garage.
It was bigger than a garage. It was our home. That was the most important thing. It was a modest 4-roomed house.
Yeah.
And my mom was so happy. And our first meal was mincemeat and rice.
You remember? It's my favorite meal.
It is my favorite meal.
Yes.
It is my favorite meal.
Look at you.
Definitely.
And I know your office up at Randburg.
Yeah, please.
I'll bring you mincemeat. Wow. Do you even remember the first meal?
I even remember the first meal.
Yeah.
And my mom was happy. And she's still happy.
She appreciated that.
When money continued to come in, at least ndamfakela ikamera yes3 ngoba bekuyi2 bedrooms.
Wakhulisa
ndakhulisa kancinci ukuthi kitchen libe separate from i-lounge because bekuyi open plan. And then ndamenzela just a smaller nyana lounge for yena fit enough. David, beningafuni indlu enkulu efana neyasekhaya. I could not afford it.
Yeah, the one you left.
The one I left.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure ukuthi sine address ndoda. Yay! 11004 Dobsonville Extension 2. Soweto.
It's still there.
It's still there.
It's still there.
That's what I wanted for us. Sibe ne address. Do you know respect kanjani xa une address?
Listen to how simple that is.
And you think ukuthi into encinci leyo.
Yeah.
But if unendawo that is called home, abantu bayajika. I lost friends, by the way.
Really? How?
I back room. Hayi kaloku standard sehlile ndoda.
We can be friends with her. Hlale back room.
Yeah.
Jeez, I wouldn't have thought that's what happens.
Iwesi xa simuvele egarage. Imoto zabantu zipaka ngaphandle ba-occupy igarage.
Sheer, that's a big change. So getting a house was a big deal.
But I did not lose all of them. I think whoever I lost was not a true friend.
No. If that's how they valued the friendship.
That's how they valued the friendship.
Yeah.
But the good ones I still have.
Even now?
Even now.
Incredible.
Even now. The good ones who know my story, who moved with me, from good to bad, to worse, and moved with me from better to best.
Better. Yes, exactly. There's a question you asked earlier when you said there's an energy that was involved in the life that you ended up living, and you asked me have I had that type of experience, and I said lots.
Yes.
Do you know why I say that? I consider moments like this one, that energy,
Yes.
that I don't know how in the world do I deserve you sharing your story with me.
Come on.
I don't know.
Who am I to deserve you?
It's the same for me.
Telling my story too.
That's what it is for me. Do
you know how sweet you are?
I don't think I am. I know myself, so I'm not that sweet.
Do you know how good you are?
Nah.
Do you know how humble you are?
Ask my nephew. Am I decent?
Do you know how, David, the humility in you?
Yeah. It's not easy to see it if you are the person.
It is even so easy to talk. Yazi ndikuxelele nezinto endingazixelela abantu. You were even able to draw stuff that I don't talk about. Unoticile Yolisa?
Really? That happened?
Yes.
Look at me now feeling guilty.
I mean, trusting you with
thank you.
My deepest.
Thank you.
My deepest hurts.
I don't know how I deserve it. You see, it's that. I don't know what happens. I don't have a clue.
It is because of who you are.
I guess.
If no one tells you that, can I tell you that?
Please do, and I appreciate it. I truly appreciate it.
You are humility in action. You are humility in action, and the energy that I draw from you is beyond compare.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It is just beyond compare.
We give credit to my mom. Big
up to her.
Absolutely. Full credit to mommy.
Big up to her.
Full credit to mommy. The people around, who do you remember who played a mentorship role in your early days? On the screen, in the studio, and all of that. Who are there people that played that type of role? Besides Lobaba.
Usistandi. Usistandi Mesajwa. The late, may her dear soul continue to rest in eternal peace. From her, that I thought was her sick bed, only to discover it was gonna ultimately be her deathbed. Yeah. She mentored me from the first day, David. From the first day. That I read in news. Usistandi was like, I knew if only yokuqala endifumanayo xa ndiphuma e-studio e-ofisini nguye.
Anika
ama-pointers. I remember the last conversation was, hayi ke sana, awuyindawo. You're not going anywhere. News was made for you.
Yeah.
That is where you are going to stay.
Incredible.
That's what she said. And I felt, hearing that coming from her, I felt so good. And when she passed on, and I ultimately had to fill in her big boots.
Jeez.
In the yokuqala that came to mind was, girl, you damn better not let us stand it down.
Didn't that come with a huge load of responsibility on your shoulders? When I
say load.
Your load is too small.
Yo. Yes, I could every day when I go on air, usistandi begging.
Yo.
This is too much for me. This is too much. Usistandi was like the best.
Yeah.
She was the best.
But I guess I like the fact that she left that skill with you. She mentored to say, I'm leaving this with you. Don't you worry.
And she gave me more.
Yeah.
She gave me more. When I go back and reflect on those moments when we would speak, it was a classroom. You know, that telephone call was like a classroom.
And you you received. You took it all in.
I took it all.
There was never any pride.
No.
Don't worry, I got this.
Jonga, you'd feel small because the into boyilindele emntwini, not to tell you ukuthi you are good, but ungacingi ba umsebenzi wami ndiyabuya. Don't be comfortable.
Yes, I'm just sick.
I'm just sick. I'm coming back. You know, for her, for instance, for her to say, "Are we in Dow?"
That's a big statement.
Do you get what I mean? You are not a threat to me. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. How did you feel by her passing?
Yo, devastated.
Yeah.
I was broken.
Yeah.
I think what broke me when I David is knowing what I gained
from
her on her deathbed, not her sick bed.
That is a thing.
I think that's what made the whole experience weigh heavily on me. And the feeling that, girl, you dare not let her down. And so every bulletin was, Sister Andy, this is for you.
Do you have a ritual? Do you have I don't know what people do. Do you gargle a TCP before you go? Yes. Do you have a ritual that you follow?
Yes, I had a ritual.
Yes.
Just 5 seconds before we go on air. The team knows, may God bless us all. That was my ritual.
Yeah, let's go.
Every day that I am on that seat.
May God bless us all.
May God bless us all. Not just me.
All of us, yeah.
All of us, yeah. And it was like something they expected, like in Dinitanda Nonge Maka.
Exactly.
It was they were waiting for their God bless us all.
So while we were waiting for Nintanda Nonke Makai, but at the office in the production, they were waiting for
on the floor. They were waiting for Nintanda Nonke.
No,
I mean, God bless us all.
And then we can go. 3, 2, 1, go. Wow. You have anchored some big moments in this country. You have told us as an audience some big moments in this country. That's the thing about reading and presenting news. You are going to be part of history, whether you like it or not. That's just the nature of the job. And so, what stands to mind? There's a lot of funerals, I'll tell you that. But what stands to mind? What comes to mind first?
I will tell you what comes to mind in the context of a challenge.
Okay.
I had to do a funeral. Yaga Sabelo Palmer, the late Sabelo Palmer with PAC.
Yes.
It was the most challenging for me. I'm one girl who likes to prepare.
So why was that a problem in terms of preparation?
There was no information.
Ooh.
I mean, I searched, and everyone tried helping me out. There was no information.
Yeah.
But then, the best way for me to get the information was to be a student. Called someone, PAC, sit down with that person, notebook, pen in hand, teach me. And if you are
when you're bad.
Yeah. And I paused to ask questions. Classroom. I'm on the floor and I'm writing. Sipping my bush tea, sipping my rooibos. And we were leaving the next day.
Yeah.
And I had to share the notes with my co-anchor.
When
we got to the hotel in the Eastern Cape, Mthatha, I had to prepare. So azange ngilale.
Jeez.
I had to prepare from all the notes that I had.
Yeah.
I had to prepare a broadcast ke ngoku, because I already had a program, a funeral.
Yes.
So I had to prepare my notes and everything. Mental and written.
Yes.
You know. And then, yaqhubeka funeral. Yo! It's done. Then sihleli ke in the lounge, having drinks. Then this guy comes to me. Ye mama, uyintoni kanye kanye? Uyi-ANC, uyi-PAC?
Oh my God.
I said, why? No, man. Kuzo zonke ezi funeral zama-comrade e-ANC. Him, I would swear, lo, comrade elikhulu. But today, confused.
Ngicabanga ukuthi
PAC. And I was like, mission accomplished.
Yeah, you did a good job.
I did a good job.
If you managed to get the audience to think you're aligned to the movement.
Yes.
How did that make you feel though, when you had words like that are saying, you did that so well, we think manje you are Africa, he's Weletu.
The feeling was like, mission accomplished. Because like in the sitsho kuwe ndiyathanda ukuprepha man. Andifuna ungena entweni mina ndingayazi. Because andikholelwa in giving people half-baked stuff.
The food must be well cooked.
It must be well cooked.
Yeah.
It must be well cooked, And the funeral ka OR. Initially, I refused.
Really?
I said, no, guys. Need umuntu omdalo ne experience.
Not you.
I cannot bury igala. Yo, OR.
And you did.
But job is job.
You're the only one here.
But it's job. You are going to do it.
And because you're burying someone who has such a strong history amongst the people, as in it's likely to be, people are likely to watch a Xhosa news instead of the English news.
Yes.
Because there's such a huge audience of people who have been touched by this man.
Exactly.
And there you were.
So what do I say to these people?
And you took on the job.
Hey, I took on the job. But because I'm a girl who prepares.
You then again went on the preparation.
I went on the preparation trail.
Incredible. You've also buried Mama Matikizela.
Yes.
You've carried a lot of these moments.
Yes, I buried Mama Matikizela because abahlali wanted me to.
Is that what happened?
Yes. Don't you remember?
I'm not quite. Help me remember that moment.
I mean, I remember then isasphetwe nguphathiswa amagopeni.
Okay.
So uza kum on the desk. I was editor then. Uthi yey wena.
Oh, you were not doing
yes.
On the day. You were not meant to be on air.
I was not on air anymore. Uthi kum hey wena abahlali bayakufuna on air. Dithi hayibo andinxibelanga umoya. I just had a black jacket. And I had a cap.
Oh, yes. You were chilled.
I was chilled. What? Yay! Uzawungena emoyeni tonight. You are reading news tonight. I'm like, yo. I remember ndikhululisa one of my children office in a week.
I'll put it on. Let's see if it fits.
Ndaya a wardrobe. Dayofuna impahlakalisa. I looked for a shulisa mncinci. I had to look for a bigger shirt that fits, and I found one. And black on black.
Yes.
Good.
Baba right.
And then I went to makeup.
I wish you go look for that news clip to see if the wig
I
actually
looked so
fit.
good, eh? Like,
You did.
I looked good.
I didn't know I'm a wig. They're easy to move from one head to another, and it did.
I looked good. I just
I see.
Sapa, no, nansi cap yam.
You had such great moments, eh?
I did. Yabona kabantu enisebenza nabo banjani. If you can just grab someone's hair.
You know what I mean? Let's go.
If you can just grab someone's hair, it says a lot about
the place.
abantuana that I worked with.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah.
I've been in that building for 23 years.
Wow.
It's taught me a lot. I know just about everything I know about broadcasting from the SABC. And I realized that there's a generation of people who have gone through that.
Through that, yes.
And they will be wrong to not give SABC credit.
Exactly.
For the skills, for the even the wrong things, because you learn the good and the bad.
And the bad, yes. Exactly. Yes.
What role do you think it's played in your life? We can only understand it and see it from a distance, but how do you feel about what you've learned from the SABC?
I think when I say to you, David, the SABC made me who I am. That statement is loaded.
Yeah.
It says a lot. Who I am in terms of people's skills, in terms of relating to people. It taught me humility.
Yeah.
The platform that they gave me as a news anchor, it made me realize that who you are does not necessarily depend on what you do for yourself. There are other people out there who can make you the person that you are and equally break the person that they've made out of you.
So you're always vulnerable.
you always vulnerable.
Oh, amazing.
And so being at the SABC has made the person that I am inside and outside the SABC. Who I am in the community.
Yeah.
The SABC has been my university. You meet all sorts of people.
True.
SABC has taught me patience.
It's everything. Eh?
It's everything. SABC has taught me to love. You know, SABC has taught me to unlove in order to love myself.
Yeah. Wow, that's a big statement.
You know, so there is so much that I learned from that institution. That is why I'm saying, I think enough is to say, it has made the person, it has shaped the person
that you are,
that I am today. The SABC, it has molded a teacher out of me.
Then that's the role you play now.
And that's the role I'm playing now. Hey, man, I was at Rhodes the other day and I suddenly realized the SABC has even molded a lecturer.
You had to stand in front of
these. I had to stand in front.
Yeah.
And I found myself turning a lounge into a lecture hall. And one young man said, "You've just helped me finish my thesis."
What? Imagine that. Imagine that.
I was like, what?
That's incredible.
He was like, wow, there goes my thesis.
It's done.
Thank you, Mama. It's done. Thanks to the SABC. Do you understand what I mean when David Ugutim? To me, the SABC is just more than indawo employment for 37 years.
Yeah. It's a long time, eh?
It is more. No, it is more than that.
Yes.
It's in a relationship and like.
It's
a
deep.
A deep.
Yeah.
A deep.
Do you sometimes feel the SABC and some of the challenges that it faces in different stages, that it doesn't get the credit it deserves? Similar to what you've just done now. You've given it so much praise, but you know, if you didn't know, you would think...
Who doesn't go through phases?
I guess, eh?
Who doesn't go through phases? We all do. Don't we?
Yeah.
And so ulindele when you go through a phase ebomini bakho, do you expect into yokubana everything else that you did in the past kufuneka ibe semnyameni because of the phase that you are in now, because of this phase? Oh no, that's not how this girl operates.
And we should learn from that.
That's not how this. I would rather light a lamp on you in your darkness, my darling.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah.
Come
We
to
know
the
how
light.
great you are.
Come to the light.
Because we know how great you are.
Come to the light.
Wow. That's such an important one. Because it has turned careers into magic.
Exactly.
Dreams into something else. And a lot of people do that.
I look at where I am today. Ndijonga ngapha, nurtured by the SABC. 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 Come on, you can't kill such a place.
You can't.
You can't kill such a place.
Is it true there was a different entrance during apartheid?
Yebo, Jonga. Commissioner Street.
For Abotaki.
Commissioner Street. My first day, ndibheke canteen. Mna ndangena.
Canteen abelungu?
Ndangena mne canteen. Hey, kutya belungu. Abantu bamnyama batya nini? I'm the first daki to be hungry. And so this girl uthi, Mama, anityi nina ngapha. Ndithi sitya ngaphi?
Gale.
Umnyango wenu ngulukwela cala. Ndithi ubhaleni kaloku.
You didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know. And
was there anything written?
I'm like, I didn't know. And andizanga zotya anyway. All I need is a muffin. Ndayitsho ndiyithatha, ndaya ethilini, paid for my muffin, and I went out.
So they served you at least.
Oh, yes. Hey, when I can be stubborn.
So that was one of those moments.
It was just it was like one of those, bengazuphuma pha, ndingathenganga. Bengazuphuma.
Were they served by black staff?
Yes. That's why ndatsho kubo ndathi andizanga utya, andizanga uhlala phansi. All I want is a muffin. And ndizawuyitya le muffin.
But now that you knew that, did you go to the same place the following day?
No, I didn't.
You had to accept that.
I had to accept that.
Yeah.
Injalo.
Yeah.
Injalo. I mean, even, I remember ndandifuna iflat. Kwakhona iflats zabelungu. Uyakhumbula?
Yeah.
Behind the SABC Panga
up the road.
Before, up the road.
Yes, on Henley. Yes.
Henley.
Yeah. Big flats.
Big flats. Beautiful.
Uh-huh.
I didn't apply the flat. Ikufutshane emsebenzini. Ndizawusave. Ndiyageza mose sometimes. Ndabhala Lorraine Grootboom.
Oh yes, of course. Hey,
ndayiprocessa.
Why not?
I-application yam. Yaphumelela i-application yam. Andiyazi uba izokumoshakala phi.
Somebody found out.
I mean, I'm waiting for the keys now. Then, omnye uthi, sorry, we didn't know you were black. I'm like, kanjani? No, we thought you were Lorraine Grootboom. I am Lorraine Grootboom. But you're also Noxolo. You're also Noxolo.
Noxolo. And Noxolo can't live here.
And Noxolo can't live here.
Oh, no.
But I knew that there was no way I was...
You were trying to push
there
your luck.
There was no way I was going to get that key to that flat.
You were just trying out, hoping that it happens. It's the stubborn side.
The stubborn side.
Yeah, you were just maybe.
I knew even maybe was not possible.
Noxolo Grootboom doesn't live here.
No, Noxolo Grootboom can't stay, unfortunately.
How when you look back at that time and the racism that was so blatant everywhere, How does it make you feel when you look at the transition that we had to go through? What type of feeling? Because not everyone. You were in the news. You were in front of the camera. You were at the SABC. You were a typist. You saw it from a different angle. When you reflect back at it, what comes to mind?
I think ubuza umntu orongo.
Okay.
Yeah, understand? Because the people who opened up opportunities for me, ngabantu abamhlophe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to say this, Dave.
No, it's true. It's the story of your life.
They loved me. They loved what I was offering.
Yeah.
And akhange bandivalele. They opened up opportunities for me. You know, and even the big bosses would come to the newsroom and tell me how I was doing.
Wow.
And was like, we're going to take care of you. Yeah. Thank you very much for your talent.
So your reflection is different.
So my reflection is totally, totally different. Yeah. And as a result,
they didn't bother you too much.
They didn't. Like, I would go to meneer Ferdinand and say, "Nee, meneer, dit werkt nie so nie." It doesn't work this way.
You could speak to them the way you wanted.
I could speak to them.
Yeah.
The way I want to. And enye into mose news, we found our way. Abasazi isiXhosa mos. Abasazi isiXhosa mos. Bangaba zi-editors. But uzawusibhala iscript sesiXhosa kodwa awuzuthetha lento iphaya escriptini. They won't know.
They won't know if
bangabiza wena bathi David Khawutolike uthi hayi ubhale lento sescriptini se-English kodwa xa ndithetha pa David uzawubukhona uyawutolika unyaka wonke.
You can't.
Ibulletin
They can't be checking every
No,
bulletin.
we found our way of playing around with words.
Yeah.
You know, so that lamagama kuthiwa masingawasebenzisi siwasebenzise in a better way.
Do you have a memory? I mean, this might not be easy, of some of the words that you couldn't use, if at all, because it is a long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But Jobas Teta Jenda, if I think of one, I will make an example. Like for instance, amakhozi.
Okay.
Ocalucalu.
Explain that. What is that in English?
You know what ukhozi is.
Yeah. Ukhozi as in the eagle?
It's the eagle.
Yeah.
Amakhozi.
Okay.
Ocalucalu. And we're talking about them. They are the eagles of apartheid.
Oh, so you would say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
We understand. We would say amadlagosha.
Which is?
Ngabo kaloku.
What is it? Oh, but they don't know.
But they don't know. We would use such words. Such words.
So you found a way to still deliver a different message.
And we were not supposed to biza amagama or Mandela.
Of course.
We are understand. And then when we say ngabachantliziyo, gamachantliziyo, we have said it all.
People know who you're talking about.
People know who we're talking about. You know. Wow. So we even if I don't say Nelson Mandela, but there is no way I can say Nelson Mandela, Babu Nelson Mandela ngumncatshi. Lichanhliziyo elia.
Amazing.
He's a freedom fighter.
He's a freedom fighter.
Hey.
What a time, eh?
We just got creative.
Yes, that's why I wonder were you aware that you were being defiant in your creativity? We were kind of fighting the system a little bit. Because
play.
Yes.
It was a game to us.
It
was a game to us. Let's beat them.
Let's see what word we can put in.
So you can imagine when the organizations were unbanned, you know, the first time I had to call igama lakhe officially emoyeni. Oh, I wish I could just yes, kubone la moment.
Bottle it.
We bottlishe, you know, and save it somewhere ending. This is the moment.
Were you by any chance broadcasting on the day of his release?
No, Sister Andy was there.
Oh, still there.
Yeah, Sister Andy was there. She did a very good job.
Of course, eh?
Yeah, she did a very good job.
You've been honored recently. How does that feel?
Yeah, humbling. Because the question still remains, what did I do to deserve it?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Sure. When you got the call, what kind of feeling?
I was in the car. Fortunately, Groti was driving.
Okay.
And I get this call from Prof. Mabizela, Rhodes. May I be the first one to congratulate you and officially say, good afternoon, Dr. Grootboom. Come on.
Really?
What are you saying? Bathule ke abaphathi bam, my managers, they know everything and they are not even preparing me. They are not saying anything to me about this move.
They knew about it.
They knew.
Sounds like you're still not happy with them.
I am.
Jeez.
And I was like, are you sure you're talking to the right person?
Is this the right Grootboom?
Yes, Dr. Noxolo Grootboom.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yes, this is what Rhodes University has decided to do. Thank you very much for honoring us.
And Rhodes is a historic university. The history, particularly when we speak about journalism and that space.
And even I've been humbled by a phone call. And then I was floored by being in the presence. Yabo.
Yes, eh?
It was, now what are you guys doing to me? I was like, floored. Ukuboni humility emntwini ofundileyo. Wakwambona umuntu ofundileyo arrogant.
And I'm a professor, but worse.
Have you ever been floored by a humility?
Yeah.
Yomuntu ofundileyo.
Sure.
Kwispace ongazange wangena kuso. And the level of respect abakunika yona is like beyond compare. Bakwenza ufile small, ingati you are an ant.
And in that moment, it's about you.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's something that happened a week ago. You still reflect on it like that.
I will never forget that moment. The moment yase Rhodes. The moment yase Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela University.
Yes.
What made yase Rhodes memorable? The crooks is a manager. They even flew my dad in.
Whoa.
Surprise, surprise.
What?
My dad and mom.
They were in the audience.
Under the same roof. At the same table.
After how long?
That must have been a moment for me. I mean, they did.
Wow.
Imagine how I felt.
Because to them, you're still a child.
Jonga, I was like, bapanza banibulala, David, napanzana ngcwaba. So you can imagine the ceremony that they had organized with those two important people
in the same room.
In my life, in the same room. And then Nelson Mandela one. I mean, they brought in my uncle and my aunt, who played a role ka mama no tata when the going was tough. Yeah.
You got the right management team, clearly.
Masishiye up.
Wow.
But nje ezo experiences ezo were humbling and were even made special by the people who witnessed the ceremonies in that audience for both the Rhodes and the Nelson Mandela University that did it for me. You know, it was both those moments were times where one would say, even now, Lord Jesus, come.
The right.
The grand.
I've seen it all now.
I've seen it all now.
Had your parents been in the same room before that day? Since many, many, many years ago?
Since years, during my grandmother's funeral.
Okay.
We graced my grandmother's funeral on my mother's side.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was still, because this is a celebration now.
Yeah.
With the honor, it's a celebration.
It's a celebration.
Everyone is all smiles.
Everybody's all smiles. And everyone was all smiles. We took pictures.
Together.
Wow,
man. Make me want to cry. Because it is a special moment. Because you can't help think of we leaving. That moment when a young girl was
life
leaving.
Works.
It's strange, this life.
It's strange, this life. This thing called life.
It's in a Ntozayo. Jeez, man. I want to wrap up because we're slowly running out of time. And talk about something that is so basic and so obvious. Where did the phrase Ngithanda Nonke Makhaya start? Because we know what it means, but you gave it a different life.
I know there are those in the field who do not believe in Ndokokba. If viewers, they make you and they can break you at the same time. And now, I truly believed ukuthi viewers zethu, they made the person that I am. They gave me that staying power. They kept on saying, we want her back. They kept on saying, we want her back. And xa ndihamba estratweni akho xesha lokuphumla kum, the love I receive. I don't have a bad story to tell about meeting events. Estratweni. No bad story at all. All good stories to tell. And everyone endidibana naye undixelela indlela andithanda ngayo. And to me, whoever the one person othi uyandithanda represents the others who haven't had the opportunity yokudibana nam. Because ndiyabona into yokokubana it's not just one person who has kept me going. And so I said to myself, there is no way that I can have all of you, David, under one roof. Let me use this opportunity yasemoyeni and come up with a close that will speak to you all from the bottom of my heart to all of you at home. Then I came up with that.
The phrase, eh?
Yes.
You gave it a life, that phrase. You gave it to a point where you reminded us of that gentleman that used to do the weather. He used to say, yes.
You know,
it's special moments like that when a host is identified beyond just what they do. And people look forward to a line that lasts for 2 seconds. Ngithanda Nonke Makhaya.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I'm happy that the message got home and it was well received.
Everywhere.
I'm happy that it was.
There's a time when you stopped presenting and then came back, right?
I stopped presenting when I was promoted to editor. And then I only came back during the funeral, Kawin.
Okay. Oh, that's what happened.
Yes.
But you stayed as editor, not on air.
Yes.
But you came back towards the end. Am I correct? Or
my last bulletin.
Your last bulletin.
My last bulletin.
Yes, had to be on air.
Yes. Imagine auto cue after a long time.
And you managed. Did you need to practice a little bit? You
know, it was the usual. You know, when you get to the office, you look at your stories, you write your close, and then you go to the studio. You do the jive.
Yeah, you do the jive. And a skill that people don't know, and we've spoken about it once before on the radio, your ability to read a paragraph in English. It's an English paragraph, but you're telling it in
In
Xhosa.
Xhosa, yes.
You're obviously aware you possess this skill. Is it written in Xhosa? But when you're reading it, you're telling it, rather it's written in English. But when you're telling it, how do you do that? You're saying it in Xhosa. It's
Come
impossible.
on, you can.
Listen to you saying, come on.
You can. I work with scripts.
And you've been.
I work with English scripts.
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
Yes.
All the time. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So it was the same as
typing.
Typing.
Yeah.
But this time,
you're saying
audio.
I find that skill to be magical. Because we tested you out on air on that day. And it was just...
Abongile Dumako does it.
Really?
Yes.
Live?
Oh, yes. Abongile would when voice booth. Also, I script such as English.
And I found
especially if we are tight for time.
There's no time to translate.
There's no time to sit down.
Yeah.
Trust him, he will do it for you and your story will go on air on time. Yes, close.
I find that to be the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. There we go. Let's see. It's a story of, you'll tell us, I guess. You can pick any part of it. This is in English. It's independent online.
Umama oswele umsebenzi wasePietermaritzburg ekutyholwa ngokokuba ukwazile ukwenza ubugcisa bokwenza imali ngokungekho mthethweni, imali yomgunyathu kutsho. Emva kokubukela iividiyo eziliqela kuGoogle naku-Instagram. Ubanjiwe kutshanje. Ukubanjwa kwakhe kulandela ugqogqo olwenziwe ngamapolisa kwikhaya lakhe elikumgaqo uBombay.
She's reading English story. She just told it to us in Xhosa.
Did you understand, Yoli? Okay.
What? How do you do it?
I'm telling you, it's instead of typing.
You are saying.
What I'm telling you is what I would be typing.
But it comes with time, though.
You see, you my fingers are.
Yeah, your lips now.
My fingers can match my lips.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
So that means
why I'm able to do it.
So that means even your translations are really quick.
Yes.
To in Xhosa.
Yes.
Every time I've seen you do it, I can't believe it. It's like when it's magic. Because no one could have picked up that you were telling us a story that you were reading in English. When you are cock. We need to use this skill somewhere. You need to use this skill elsewhere. It's been such a pleasure. I think you're amazing. And South Africans are lucky. And I always say this. You are one of those special South Africans. The president stopped the country for you. Trust me, we all know how special you are.
Wow.
And we appreciate that you are part of us. We're part of us in our lifetime. We've gotten to enjoy your talent and to enjoy your humility, to enjoy your kindness, and to hear the words "Ngithanda nonke emakhaya" so many times. So we truly, truly appreciate you. And I want to say on this show, on this platform, because it's all about getting these stories and putting them in a bottle for future generations to watch and appreciate and hopefully learn something from them. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I can never thank you enough. You and your team for agreeing to this. Enkosi, ndiyabulela.
Nam ndiyabulela mntanam. And thank you for the person that you are. Stay as sweet as you are. Yonke lento yenzayo ingakuze enhloko. Ndihlangane nawe ngenye imini uphambene udumba inhloko ungandazi noba ndingubani.
Never.
Kodwa ke ngicela nami ke undiphe elithuba kuba ndiyayazi into yokuba le nkqubo yakho uyisasazela abantu. Ndicela abantu banganilibali. Xa ndisithi nanga ningalala ngobubusuku nombethe ingubo yemvisiswano uxolo nothando. Ndinithanda nonke emakhaya.
I'm not going to ruin that. I'll stop here. Thank you very much.
King David Studio Podcast.